Welcome everyone. You are listening to and perhaps watching this installment of Hot Sauce Interviews. Since we began quarantine, we've begun separating our interviews from the shows just in order to be able to provide the content at the same time as having to deal with some of our constraints and Eagle's inability to figure out technology and how to make this work. Shak, we're here off, maybe I should introduce you first. We're here with Shakeel Phinn, the Jamaican Juggernaut. He is a boxer. He is one of our first interviews and a good friend of the show, Shak Phinn. Shak, how have you been dealing with quarantine?
Well, and in the beginning it was pretty tough, just like closing down the gym, not being able to fight and whatnot like that. But I started doing some Instagram live videos, like some workouts for the people in my gym, and then other people joined in, so I kept myself a little bit busy with that. And now I'm kind of just training clients outdoors and trying to stay corona free and stay safe and try to keep everybody in shape, including myself.
Yeah, and Terry Tam, co-host on Hot Sauce Sports, told us that you had been doing some training digitally, like through I guess through Zoom or whatnot.
Yeah, Instagram Live.
Instagram Live. Okay, that's cool. That's cool that you were able to keep in touch with your clients. It was cool that you were able to keep that relationship. I know part of the reason people trust you with their training is their special connection to you. So the fact that you were able to keep that up is pretty amazing. Shak, we'll talk a little bit more about what's next for you in terms of boxing and the gym and so on and so forth later on. But I did want to get your thoughts on some of the things that have been happening. We've been experiencing what's happened with first the death of the murder of George Floyd, and then the protests that have happened afterwards. And when we had the opportunity this week to produce a lot of content, as we tend to produce our content kind of in advance so that we can release it as we go, and then we realized that it wasn't the right time. We needed to promote some of the Black voices we associate with, people that we care about, people that we support, and we wanted to talk to you about some of that. And how has it been for you in terms of just absorbing and seeing yet another case of abuse of power in the police murder of George Floyd?
Like when I saw the video, like it was kind of like more of like a thing where I was just scrolling through Instagram and and randomly this video pops up and I see a cop. I'm like, okay, it's just like another video, another Black dude getting roughed up by the police, because I'm used to seeing this. We've been seeing it for a long time now. And then I continue watching the video, and and I'm like, shit, like, okay, like this guy, he's screaming, crying for his mom, and and then you can basically see he's pretty much like not talking anymore, right? People are saying like, yo, get off him, and we're not. And then I kind of feel some rage in my body, and I'm just I feel like I'm getting heated. Like I'm like, I wish I was there to so I could react and try to do something. But I understand like the people who were there, the bystanders, the person who was filming, obviously like you're not going to do anything because the cop can just decide to kill you. So like, it's easy for me to say like, oh, I would have did something, but obviously, being there, it's a different story. But seeing that and seeing him being murdered in that type of way in broad daylight, just it was disgusting, like it just angers me because this has been happening for for far too long. And and it's just I have no words.
One of the things, Shak, were our, my experience is obviously different from yours, and one of the things I'm seeing constantly from prominent Black media members and athletes is how they were sort of brought up and how they bring up their children to very much not question authority, to be aware of what it's like for to be in the presence of police officers. I've heard of people telling their kids to wear their license around their necks for them to make sure that they're never in a situation where they're just reaching for their license and registration where they can
Yeah.
have it out and ready to go. I just want to know, did you have any of that growing up? How was it
I
like
mean,
when you had that experience, let's say perhaps with your parents or
I
did you?
mean, 100% with my, sorry to cut you off, with my mom.
Yours?
With my mom, yeah, like, she gave me the talk, just like many of my other, friends have gotten that talk as well. It's just, when you get pulled over, or when a policeman comes up to you, just, like, yes, sir, no, sir, like stuff like that. Like, be polite, don't talk back, because you never know what his intentions are, right?
Mhm.
And it sucks that I like that they like she had to tell me that stuff like this, or other parents have to tell you know their children about this, or people of color have to tell their children about this kind of stuff, because like they're police, right? They're there to protect us. So why do we have to feel like we're under? Why do I feel stressed when I get
Yeah.
pulled over? I shouldn't feel stressed, if I didn't do anything wrong,
Like,
right? So
why do you feel attacked if the role is to serve and protect, right?
100%. It doesn't make any sense. Why do I have to, be like so tensed up and be like, okay, all right, yeah, I'm good. Nothing's happening here. Yes, here's my license, or you want my ID, or whatever it is. I shouldn't have to feel like that with the police, because the police are supposed to be the good guys, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And and that's one of the things that's been most amazing about this is you see guys, athletes, and Shaq, you're hey, first of all, you're one of the nicest dudes I've ever met. B, you're one of the most jack dudes I've ever met. You know what I mean? So like, when you see someone, who's physically imposing, who's that overcome with fear, it just seems incongruous. You know what I mean? And it's fear of someone who's, supposed to be there to protect you. How does it make you feel, Shaq? And one of the cases that sort of affected me most, and it's because my wife grew up in Atlanta. We visit Atlanta often. We have close friends in that city, and when we saw a young couple being dragged out and tased of their cars when they were very clearly, very, very clearly doing nothing wrong, and despite what you're told, yes sir, no sir, and not being
Not
combative.
resisting, not being, I'm not being disrespectful, nothing like that. It, just doesn't make any sense.
But how does that make you feel when people are doing that and they're still paying the consequences?
Yeah, that, like I said, that it makes you like, the way it makes me feel inside. It makes me feel like smashing something, like going to do something bad to these people, because and at the same time, I shouldn't have to feel that way, because it's not the right way. Violence is not the way, right? But
Or
like, and this is why I understand, well, especially in the beginning, the rioting, and the after the protest, because I mean, it's like, I don't know George Floyd, and I don't know any of the victims this happened to, and who've been brutally murdered by policemen. But it's like, I feel for them. It's like they're the same color as me, and they're like my brothers and sisters. It's like, this can happen. This could happen to my real brother. It can happen to me. It can happen to my father. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's why I understand why people react. We're out there freaking destroying shit, burning shit down, because it's rage. Like, it's just bottled up after being so you know like, oh, Black Lives Matter, Black Lives, having your pickets outside and saying, just for this person, just for it doesn't work. The protesting, the passive stuff, okay, well, if you're not gonna listen to that, well, then listen to this, right?
yeah, and we said on our show, it's not that we condone looting. Like nobody's saying that. What
No,
you're saying
100%.
is it's understandable when you've tried everything and it's still the
Yeah,
same thing. That when a
it's like
quarterback kneels in peaceful protest and it's
yeah,
told he's not allowed, then what are you left with?
100%. It's like, you poke a sleeping bear so much, it's gonna end up waking up and attacking, right? So I
Yeah.
mean, you corner an animal or anything, and at one point it's gonna pounce back at you, right? So their, their action is causing this reaction.
Absolutely. So, uh, amidst all of this, and after the Montreal protest, our premier, the premier of Quebec, the leader of the province, came out and said that there is no systemic racism in Quebec, and doesn't understand why there's protests. Uh, if you'd like, feel free to share some of your experience that runs the contrary, because I have friends who continuously told me that that's not the case, and that they
It's
have.
it's it's not true, man. Like for him to say that, it's either he's blind, stupid, or both. Like I like when he said, I'm like, come on, man. Quebec is one of the most racist provinces in Canada, right? And I can, anybody can tell you that. It doesn't like black people, Mexican, Chinese, Arab, like like we're racist as fuck. Like, yo, um,
Arguably, even
I've
against
been,
anglophones. I mean, but anyway.
yes, yes, yeah, yeah, 100%. I agree. And it's like I've been through stuff where like in the stores, in the store, I'm with buddies, and you got somebody following you. Like, why are you following me for? Why aren't you following that group of guys over there that don't look like me? Um, Shit like me being pulled over for no damn reason, right? Like driving and I get pulled over. I'm like, yes, what's the problem? Uh, Routine check for
Yeah,
what?
I never heard
Like,
that in my life, by the way. I had a friend of mine tell me once, he's like, well, this happens, I've been pulled over for routine check of documents. And that was the
yeah,
case. The DJ at my wedding is Jamaican, is, sorry, a Bayesian dude. And he told
yeah.
me the same thing. He's like, yeah, like this happens, like, X amount of times. And I was like, literally, I've never heard that. Eagle, have you ever been pulled over for routine check of your documents? Eagle? Eagle. Nope.
Eagle has left the building.
This is.
No, no, I'm here. Sorry about that. Say it again. Sorry.
I was asking. We're talking about the routine checking of documents by police officers while you're driving.
Oh
Has that
yeah.
ever been experienced?
Nope. That's not a thing.
Yeah.
In
So
fact, it's
Yeah,
not even something I would consider. And if they had asked me for it, I'd be like, "Why? Like this makes no sense."
yet,
yeah.
yet, there
But
isn't.
if
There
I
isn't.
if I ask, sorry, if I ask why now, or if I say, well, why do you need my ID? Why do you need this? And if I don't feel like I want to do that, then it becomes a problem, right?
Mhm. Yeah,
And then
and
I'm
that's
the
how it
bad
seems.
guy because I want to stand up for my own rights, and I decide to say, okay, well, no, this is not right. Well, okay, get the fuck out the car, type of thing.
Mhm.
Like stuff like that. So it's just hard to deal with.
Yeah, and like I said, it was just an experience I had never had, and since then I've been particularly, I've started to look at a way a lot of our laws are implemented. The original draft of the pit bull law allowed police officers to search your home without a warrant.
Yeah,
That has since changed because, you can imagine how problematic that is. The legalization of marijuana bill allows for police officers to pull you over without cause, which again, for guys like me and Eagle, that's not something we would ever experience as an issue. But for people who are already being pulled over without cause, this just creates greater concern.
100%. And it's like, it's I don't know what it is, man. I don't know what I always try to figure out, like, what did I do or what did we do to deserve it? It doesn't make any sense to me. It just makes me more angry than anything. I always try to find answers to these questions, but it's hard to find any answers to the questions.
Absolutely. So, Shak, thanks for coming on and discussing some of your experiences. I know none of this is easy to talk about. We also recognize how important it is to talk about. So we do absolutely treasure your time. When it comes to the return of boxing, do you know when you'll be back and fighting again?
Honestly, right now I don't know what's going on with boxing. Or like, I know UFC has found a way to put on fights and stuff like that, but boxing hasn't really started yet. So I'm just staying in the gym, and I'm right now I'm focusing, like, because I've had so much time to kind of just chill and like think about things. I've been trying to work on building a website and working on building my personal training stuff because a lot of people want to train. So different stuff like that. Trying to get another branch of stuff that I can do when boxing decides to come back. So when it decides to come back, hopefully I can get back in the ring when everything is over with the COVID thing. But for now, I'm just focusing on getting some money, getting some more knowledge about other things, doing things I never used to do before. And yeah, man.
So do we know who you beat the hell out of next? Like, has that been arranged or not yet?
There's nothing yet, man. Nothing yet.
We'll definitely keep us posted. For those who are interested in being trained by the Jamaican Juggernaut, how can they find you? Where can they find you?
I got my Instagram, which is Shakeel Phinn. So my name's Shakeel Phinn. And my Facebook that I'm on, Shakeel Phinn as well. I don't really go on Twitter that much, but it's Shak Phinn. And yeah, so those are my, you can hit me up, DM me, whatever. And let's get this working.
Absolutely. Thank you, Shak, for joining us during this difficult time. Thanks a lot for joining us. We really do appreciate your time. You've all been listening to this installment of Hot Sauce.